Chapter 60:12. Seeing that Simon was a little angry, Helena was not angry, and just said lightly, "Mr. Rothschild, don't get angry in a hurry. I have an additional condition that I haven't finished yet." After a pause, she continued, "I want your set of models for personal use and will not be used for any commercial purpose, which means it will not have any impact on your original market. I just want an exact copy for my own use. To you, it is nothing more than sending me a copy. Give me a set of hardware and give me 20 years of maintenance. The cost shouldn't be much, right?" Simon asked coldly, "How can I be sure you won't go for commercial use?" Helena smiled and said, "This is the specific details I am going to talk about next. You will still pay me $100 billion, but I will sign a contract with you and agree on $50 billion. Half will return to the Rothschild family at an amount of $2.5 billion per year in the next 20 years. If you cut off the upgrade and maintenance to me, I will cut off the subsequent return of this money. If I take your AI model for commercial use, you can immediately stop the upgrade and maintenance and sue the Nordic royal family in court, demanding full repayment of $50 billion. All our cooperation, as long as we reach an agreement, will be written in contracts and will be protected by law." Simon said angrily, "Oh, I will give you $100 billion, and then you turn around and put it into a trust. Judging from the current median rate of return in the US financial market, the annual interest is at least several $billion. And once the compound interest is calculated, this is an astronomical figure. Aren't you just borrowing chickens to lay eggs? Lend my chickens to lay eggs for 20 years, and then return the chickens to me. Where can I find the eggs that have been around for 20 years? Helena said generously, "How about this, you still give me $100 billion. Of which $50 billion will generate interest every year, and I will not get a penny of it. Everything will be refunded to you. In the first year, I will calculate it for you based on the actual interest generated by the $50 billion. While refunding your principal of $2.5 billion, all this interest will also be refunded to you. Second year, I will give you the interest actually generated on the $47.5 billion, and then refund the principal of $2.5 billion, and so on, until the 20-year contract is completed." Speaking of this, Helena smiled and said, "If you mortgage the chicken with me for 20 years, all the eggs laid in these 20 years will belong to you. And the chicken itself will be gradually returned to you in 20 years. Is this fair enough?" Simon felt a little comfortable after hearing this. However, when he thought that the pill alone would cost $50 billion, he still felt a slight pain. At this moment, Simon suddenly exclaimed, "I forgot one thing. The hardware of the AI model is very expensive. Most of the cost is based on the hardware produced by NVIDIA. NVIDIA's stock price is rising rapidly. That is because AI is so popular that the price of hardware has skyrocketed. Maybe this set of models will cost billions of dollars in hardware." Helena smiled and said, "It doesn't matter if you care about the cost, I will give you another $10 billion. I am still very generous." Hearing this, Simon's face was a little confused. He knew that Helena was secretly mocking him when she said this. Then, Helena added, "Mr. Rothschild, in fact, the Rothschild family is involved in almost all of the institutions that are NVIDIA's major shareholders. And you still hold a lot of circulating stocks in the secondary market. And you got these shares very early and the chips were priced very low. In the process of NVIDIA's stock price soaring to more than $1 trillion, you have already made a lot of money." Simon just got a $10 billion concession. He felt a lot more comfortable. Now that he heard Helena explain the background, he quickly explained. "Everyone is discussing business. We make more money from NVIDIA. That can't be related to this matter. Your Majesty the Queen, don't you think so?" "Yes." Helena nodded and said, "However, I will give you a hardware cost of $10 billion, which has something to do with NVIDIA. You will definitely still have to purchase my AI model from NVIDIA. You are a shareholder of NVIDIA, and you go to NVIDIA to make bulk purchases. To a certain extent, this is equivalent to turning your left hand over to your right hand. For one thing, even if the external quoted cost is 10 billion, you won't be spending that much on actual purchases. Secondly, you are a shareholder of Nvidia, so you still get points for the profit from this order. Thirdly, this order will definitely drive up Nvidia's sales and stock price. And the stock price will rise. You can also gain more profit from it. The shares you hold through institutions can make profits on valuation, and the tradable shares you hold in the secondary market can make direct profits. You can make money in any part of the US market, and the final conversion at the end of the day, your actual cost may not even be 10% of 10 billion. At this point, Helena concluded, I won't tell you the exact cost. My final quotation now is, it's $40 billion, plus a set of AI models that will be upgraded and maintained for free for 20 years. If you think it's okay, we can sign an agreement now. After saying that, Helena took out a few printed contracts and handed them over in front of Simon. She said, the contract template has come out. Just write in the specific amount of money and the terms of the agreed repayment of interest. If Mr. Rothschild is interested, we will proceed. If not, I will leave. As soon as Simon heard this, he knew that Helena had done enough preparation and homework before coming. The facts are true as she said. The Rothschild family itself controls Nvidia's shares through multiple institutions and individuals, and holds a large number of circulating shares in the secondary market. They have already reaped huge profits from Nvidia. The 10 billion that Helena gave up indeed left a lot of room for maneuvering for the Rothschild family. Although Simon didn't care about the money. Now that he was being taken advantage of, he naturally wanted to get a little less. So, he hesitated again and again, but for the sake of his own health and status, he gritted his teeth and said, okay. Just, as Her Majesty the Queen said, $40 billion, plus a set of non-commercial, AI model. After saying that, he asked hesitantly, Your Majesty the Queen, if this elixir can't cure my disease, then? Helena said very confidently, no. Maybe, it will definitely cure you. After saying that, Helena smiled slightly and said, if Mr. Rothschild feels uneasy, then let's sign the agreement first. And you can take the elixir without paying. Please make sure it is valid before arranging payment. Upon hearing this, Simon completely gave up all worries and agreed without hesitation. No problem. Just follow what Her Majesty the Queen said. Helena nodded, took out her mobile phone, and said with a smile, but in order to prevent Mr. Rothschild from cheating, from now on, until we complete the signing and you take the elixir, I must record it with my mobile phone and synchronize it online in real time. If you recover after taking the elixir, and you turn your back on me and refuse to recognize anyone else, I won't be able to do anything to you, Mr. Rothschild. Simon said quickly, Your Majesty, don't worry. I can't default on my debt. But since Your Majesty the Queen is worried, it's better to leave a record.